The Philippines, in a bold assertion of its national sovereignty, officially withdrew from the International Criminal Court in 2019. This decision, a direct response to what many perceived as the court's intrusion into the country's internal affairs, has significant implications for the ICC's authority within the Philippines. The withdrawal sent a clear message. The Philippines would not tolerate external interference in its justice system. The withdrawal was rooted in a deep-seated belief that the ICC's investigations were biased and politically motivated. Filipino officials argued that the country's own justice system was more than capable of handling any alleged crimes committed within its borders. They viewed the ICC's involvement as an affront to the Philippines' sovereignty and a blatant disregard for its own judicial processes. Despite the withdrawal, the ICC has continued to assert jurisdiction over alleged crimes committed during the Philippines' membership period, which ended in 2019. This stance has further fueled tensions and raised serious concerns about the ICC's respect for the sovereignty of nations. The Philippines maintains that the ICC's authority ceased the moment the withdrawal became effective. The decision to withdraw from the ICC was not taken lightly. It was a calculated move aimed at safeguarding the Philippines' national interests and protecting its citizens from what it perceived as an overreaching international body. This withdrawal marked a pivotal moment in the relationship between the Philippines and the ICC, setting the stage for a protracted legal battle over jurisdiction and sovereignty. The ICC's insistence on maintaining jurisdiction over the Philippines even after its withdrawal raises serious questions about the court's respect for the sovereignty of nations. This stance, widely viewed as an overreach of authority, undermines the very foundation of international law, which rests on the principle of state consent. The Philippines' withdrawal from the Rome Statute, the treaty that established the ICC, clearly demonstrated its intent to no longer be bound by the court's jurisdiction. The ICC's argument for continued jurisdiction hinges on the premise that it retains the authority to investigate crimes committed during the period of the Philippines' membership, even if those investigations extend beyond the withdrawal date. This interpretation, however, is highly contentious and lacks a strong legal basis. The Philippines, along with several other countries, maintains that the ICC's jurisdiction is limited to crimes committed while a state is a party to the Rome Statute. The ICC's attempts to exercise jurisdiction over a country that has explicitly withdrawn from its founding treaty set a dangerous precedent. It undermines the voluntary nature of international agreements and creates uncertainty about the limits of international tribunals. This overreach of authority has the potential to erode trust in the ICC and discourage other countries from participating in the international justice system. The Philippines' experience with the ICC underscores the need for greater clarity and accountability within the international legal framework. The ICC's actions in this case raise fundamental questions about the balance between international justice and national sovereignty, questions that must be addressed to ensure the legitimacy and effectiveness of international institutions. The ICC's potential use of INTERPOL, the International Criminal Police Organization, to apprehend Filipino citizens further complicates an already delicate situation. INTERPOL, an organization designed to facilitate cooperation among national law enforcement agencies, operates based on the issuance of notices, including red notices, which are requests to locate and provisionally arrest individuals pending extradition. However, the potential for these notices to be used for political purposes raises serious concerns about the politicization of INTERPOL and its potential abuse by international bodies like the ICC. The ICC's request for INTERPOL to issue red notices for Filipino citizens in relation to alleged crimes committed within the Philippines' borders is highly controversial. Critics argue that such a move would be a clear violation of INTERPOL's constitution, which explicitly prohibits the organization from undertaking any intervention or activities of a political, military, religious, or racial character. Using INTERPOL to enforce the ICC's disputed jurisdiction would be a dangerous precedent, potentially undermining the organization's neutrality and credibility. Furthermore, the involvement of INTERPOL in this case raises serious concerns about due process and the rights of individuals facing extradition. INTERPOL's red notices, while not international arrest warrants themselves, can have significant implications for individuals subject to them, potentially leading to detention and extradition without a fair trial. The use of such a powerful tool in a case where the ICC's jurisdiction is highly contested raises serious questions about the fairness and transparency of the process. The ICC's attempt to utilize INTERPOL to apprehend Filipino citizens represents a troubling escalation of its pursuit of jurisdiction over a sovereign nation that has clearly withdrawn its consent. This move has the potential to damage the reputation of both the ICC and INTERPOL, undermining their credibility and effectiveness in upholding international law and promoting cooperation among nations. The Philippines, as a sovereign nation, has a fundamental duty to protect its citizens from what it perceives as unjust and politically motivated prosecutions. This duty is paramount, especially when dealing with international bodies like the ICC, whose actions can have far-reaching consequences for individuals and the nation as a whole. The Philippine government has a responsibility to ensure that its citizens are not subjected to arbitrary detention, extradition, or prosecution based on questionable legal grounds. The ICC's continued pursuit of jurisdiction over the Philippines, despite its withdrawal, puts the Philippine government in a difficult position. On the one hand, the government is obligated to cooperate with international institutions and uphold its international legal obligations. On the other hand, it has a duty to protect its citizens and defend its national sovereignty against what it perceives as an overreach of authority by the ICC. The Philippines has taken a firm stance against the ICC's actions, challenging its jurisdiction and vowing to protect its citizens from what it considers to be politically motivated prosecutions. The government has argued that the ICC's investigations are flawed, biased, and undermine the Philippines' own judicial processes. It has also raised concerns about the ICC's lack of transparency and accountability, further eroding trust in the court. The Philippines' experience with the ICC highlights the delicate balance between international justice and national sovereignty. While the pursuit of accountability for alleged crimes is important, it should not come at the expense of a nation's right to govern itself and protect its citizens. The Philippines' stand against the ICC's overreach of authority serves as a reminder that the pursuit of justice must always be conducted within the framework of international law and with due respect for the sovereignty of nations.